A regular question I see floating about from new storytellers and players is the same question that the children of Cain, and to a lesser extent the other denizens of the world of darkness, often ask. How many of them is there in a city? Well, fear not, I'm about to clarify that little question for you, but lo and behold, it's not quite as straightforward as one might think. When talking about population amongst the kindred, it really is broken down by sect. The Camarilla, for instance, have long since enforced a strict 1 for 100,000 rule. In fact, the Anarch movement, so used to this ruling, largely follow the same ruling, with a few exceptions. Sabbat, on the other hand, are far more liberal, owing to their more traditional following of the teachings of the Book of Nod. As is your like to run into, it's roughly 1 for every 50,000 of the kind. Hell, back in the Dark Ages, before most of the sects were a twinkle in the mind's eye of their founders, the rule of thumb was 1 for every 1,001 mortals. Might seem insane, but do keep in mind populations at the time. Even Constantinople, one of the largest cities, if not the largest city in the dark medieval world, only had about 400,000 people. Talk about crowded hunting grounds. The Ashira also largely follow the Camarilla ruling, hence why they more so get along with each other than butt heads. Where those dark figures who nestle in the shadows of the puppet masters of the mortal world, such as the Talmei Ra and the Incarnu, largely follow whatever ruling their domain they're infiltrating maintains. Granted, neither really gives a damn what the Anarchs have to say, so maybe they just bump off some of the local caitiff to give themselves some more wiggle room. But in general, when you're considering the population ratios, level it against the area's metro population, and that will give you your rough numbers. Now, what complicates this simple formula is several things. You see, the children of Cain are crafty. If a city like Kingston in Ontario, Canada was to survive being sandwiched between the Sabbat, they had to get crafty. So factor in the dominance they claimed over the prison systems to facilitate and supplement their feeding. Tourism is another. Let's take Atlantic City, for example. Only a population of around 300,000. That's not a lot, but factor in that it receives an annual average of 27 million visiting tourists, and you can wager there's a few more kindred in town, and odds are the powers that be will really get fussy if anyone starts screwing with the tourists or the attractions. I refer you to the example of Vegas in our video on the traditions. Just like that, not only do you got more personalities to play with, but a good idea of what some of the interests and political landscape of the city is likely to be or be influenced by. Lastly, there's interstates. You might have a small town, but if you just so happen to be the pipsqueak Baron of San Clemente, well, good news to you, Baron, because on average you got over 500,000 people making daily trips along the interstate who are gonna need to pull over to take a piss, fix a tire, or grab a bite to eat driving between San Diego and LA. Didn't you ever wonder why interstates were mentioned under domain as being so prized? Even if you're in a small place, a lot of regular foot traffic lets you eke out a much easier existence. I hope you found this to be helpful. Now that I've done this, I fully intend to do a full video going into it for each of the denizens of the world of darkness. Just wait until you hear about the lupine population in British Columbia. Ugh, no thank you.